Welcome to Rise, Healer, Rise, the podcast where your transformative journey as a healer takes flight. We're here to guide you on a sacred path of embracing your essence and transforming your sensitivity into strength. Are you a healer, an empath, a creative soul, or a leader who has a deep desire to share your gifts and create an abundant life that honors the beauty of our earth? In a world that's calling out for healing, your unique gifts are more needed than ever. But how do healers, creative souls, and leaders of our new earth maintain their spiritual connection while navigating the material realm? The answer lies within you, and I believe in your power to rise up and navigate the challenges that lie ahead. The key to unlocking your full potential lies in sharing your healing tools, and just by doing this, you invoke divine right protection. Inside this podcast, we explore nature-based methods to clear trauma, cultivate sacred essence, and share your gifts to create a significant impact and thrive as a modern-day healer. Join me, Sara Estelle, your host, flower essence expert, high priestess and business guide, for content that soothes your soul and sparks inspiration. At full moon, we welcome a special guest to impart their wisdom. Together, we rise, heal and transform. So embrace your essence. Honor the abundance of Gaia. You are source. You are limitless. The world awaits your light. Rise, healer, rise. Welcome to another episode of Rise, Healer, Rise. I'm Sara Estelle, your host and a nature and transformation guide. I'm here to help you reconnect with nature's wisdom and your own deep healing power. Today, I'm sharing insights from a recent masterclass that I gave called Coming Home to Your Feminine Nervous System. And I wanted to share some of the insights with you here. So we're going to explore how tuning in to nature's cycles and creating space for balance can transform your nervous system and help you embrace each season's magic. So what is the feminine nervous system? So for many of us, we have actually been working according, if you like, connecting back, calibrating to the feminine nervous system for a long time. I know a long time ago, over 20 years ago now, I started following the lunar cycles, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. And it really, really helped calm and soothe my anxiety. And it was possibly one of the first ways that I began to bring myself back from severe anxiety. And so that is the feminine nervous system. In my 20s and 30s, as often happens, I'd been to university, I'd worked, sustained myself in different countries abroad. And although I'd been following my heart, I had almost lapsed into a very linear, on all the time, working really hard way. And my soul was yearning for yin energy. It was yearning for, yes, doing the things that my heart desired, but also resting, restoring myself, regenerating myself, and a return to nature, a return to my own more feminine cycles. So the feminine nervous system operates in cycles. It mirrors the ebb and flow of nature, the moon cycles, the changing seasons, and even the rhythm of day and night. So nature is always changing. She's always moving into one polarity and then back to the next. The day and night is the most obvious one. And then we have the lunar cycles, that the moon changes every 29 days into her next phase. And then we have the seasons, which is a much slower version of that. And of course, astrology has its own cycles as well. So a woman's nervous system is really, really designed to work with that. And of course, we see that through menstruation and a woman's ability to birth new life, and how her reproductive system allows her to do that and works very much alongside the moon. So if you are no longer cycling and in perimenopause or menopause, as I am, then you still have a deep, deep connection to your feminine nervous system. Almost when we go into menopause, the energy shifts deep inside of us and we start to react less in balance, that is, to what is outpicturing outside of us, and we bring that huge sovereignty through us and start to really embody the yin energy. So this yin energy is foundational for a woman's well-being. Of course, any guys listening, you also need the rest and the regeneration, but your nervous systems will be operating in a different way to a woman's. For a woman, this yin energy is kind of like nectar to her soul. And if you don't have this, I've seen it again and again and again through my work, how difficult it is, how debilitating it is, and how easily we can become, we can have a lack of well-being when we disconnect from the rhythms of the earth. So the feminine nervous system essentially is circular. She's always moving, opening and closing, while the masculine nervous system, and this is not necessarily gender related, it is more the yin and the yang, is more linear. And of course, we need both of these in balance. And depending on our constitution and our astrology, and our soul purpose, we're going to work differently with that balance. So as I shared a little bit at the beginning, it was one of my cats who has been in spirit for a long time now. His name was Marvin G. And Marvin was, I believe, one of the souls that taught me how to move back into the more feminine part of me. So I remember in my late 30s and early 40s feeling highly, highly anxious a lot of the time and not knowing how to return to a place of calm. And I noticed that Marvin, our cat, used to sit in under the light of the full moon. I just noticed how he would do that. So I started joining him. And I found that the rays of the moon were very, very calming to my system. I kind of almost came back to myself just through that. There was just almost like a portal that opened that allowed me to start to heal. I was able to look out the window and see change and see how I too was part of that universe that needed to change and was change, and that by embracing that into my own life, it could be deeply helpful. Since then, for many years, nature has been my healer, guiding me back to balance and teaching me how to root myself during life's chaotic moments. And that's what I hope to share with you here in this podcast. So why don't we just take a moment to root ourselves together? So maybe close your eyes if you can. Obviously, if you're driving or it's unsafe, please don't do this. But if you can, just quiet yourself for a second. All you need to do is just take a deep breath into your heart and then down into your belly, and just take some deep breaths. It can make all the difference to just breathe deeply. Allow yourself to expand as the breath comes in, and see a large tree, a large ancient tree in your mind's eye. Well rooted, really firm and solid in the ground, yet with its mantle, its branches reaching right out into the cosmos. And this is a beautiful image of balanced strength. So as you breathe now, just imagine that you are this tree, or this energy of this tree reaches out to you and allows you to ground deep into the earth, allowing those roots to go down but at the same time allowing your branches to reach out to the cosmos to receive the light and the codes of the stars and the moon and the sun. And the trunk, which is your body, just allows this to move up and down, and you literally become the bridge between the two. So this visualization, if you like, helps bring us into the alignment with our feminine energy, grounding us, but at the same time allowing us to reach for the wisdom of the stars. So even by just doing that, you start to feel better. It doesn't take any time. You can do it anywhere, in a meeting or at night while you're sleeping or trying to sleep. It's a very restorative way to breathe and just be present to yourself. Taking those few moments out for yourself, breathing deeply to connect to your body, is a reminder to you, to us all, that restoration is a simple practice of presence. So as you do this, you might want to just tune in to how you could bring these cycles of rest and movement into your life to feel more balanced and to echo nature's process of how things are born, how they grow, how they die, and then are reborn again. And we can just see that in the lunar cycle or in the seasons, in the way that the trees drop their leaves, the sap moves down deep into the earth, and then in early spring it starts to move back up and everything moves back out again. If we can do that for ourselves in small and perhaps larger ways, I believe that the world would be a very, very different place. Now, one of my favorite ways of co-creating with nature like this is to make essences. They are what, after connecting back to the moon, I started making essences in moonlight, and it has now become my life work and my passion to help others do this. When we co-create an essence with nature, it's a very beautiful way of connecting back to your feminine self. And yes, it is about the essence that emerges at the end and how it can go in a bottle, and we can take that essence to support us, and we can perhaps also purchase essences from others online. But actually, what is most precious, I believe, is the creation process itself. When you create in living ceremony with nature, that is the healing piece, not the bottle at the end, although of course that can be immensely helpful. So I love to create these experiences for my clients whereby we create together, and that creation process becomes the healing that grounds us in nature's support and brings clarity and calm back to our nervous systems. So I want to reassure you that your sensitivity is actually a strength. So often we feel too sensitive, things are too much. People tell us maybe that we're too much, and we try and shrink down. We try and dismiss our feelings. We numb ourselves in all different ways to try and stay on the straight and narrow, where actually we're designed to feel. And when we feel, we become more powerful. And that is part of sensitivity. When we close down our feelings, we also close down in part our sensitivity. Now, of course, being sensitive can present its own challenges, and there are many, many essences that can support that. And you might want to look through previous podcasts of mine that can help you with this subject. But today, I just want to reassure you that sensitivity to life's changes is a gift that aligns you with the rhythms of nature. You want to be able to feel that pulse of life. You want to be able to feel the changes. You want to be able to gaze at a rose or stand with a tree and feel its energy. That is the true nature of sensitivity. And allowing yourself to feel and respond naturally brings a deep sense of clarity and awareness into your everyday life. So thank you for joining me today on this journey into the feminine nervous system. I hope this episode has helped you reconnect with the cycles within you and around you. Remember, nature is always here to support you. And I encourage you to take moments when you can to breathe, be present, and embrace your unique rhythm. Until next time, rise, healer, rise. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I want to remind you that your journey is a sacred one. You are not alone on this path of transformation. I, Sara Estelle, and all of the Nature Kingdom are here with you, holding space for your growth and celebrating each step you take towards embracing your true essence. If you love today's content, leave us a review on your favorite podcast listening platform and share your biggest takeaway. And do visit the show notes of this episode where you'll find extra resources to support you. Also, come and join our Rise Healer Rise community on Facebook and be part of a rising wave of healers who are empowered change makers. And make sure you subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, may you always remember, you are the healer the world has been waiting for. Rise, healer, rise.